What up? It's your boy King Down 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. So hit that like, subscribe, become part of the kingdom. Oh man, I came across a very interesting video by Black Stories Untold of 4 types of black sellouts. Lordy Jesus, y'all have no idea how much I've been discussing this over and over and over again on so many of my videos. How destructive these people are to our community. How they destroy from the inside out by their own selfish agenda and greed. They not on code. On code mean is not groupthink necessarily mean going with the majority of what the people say, standing on business basically. Like, don't turncoat, don't betray us for your own self interest. I always think about the greater good of your people. That's what on code mean, basically. So we're gonna dissect this video and break it down. This very, very interesting videos of the 4 types of sellout. I think there's more, but we can start with 4 right now.
House slave. Meet Stephen, the house slave who loved. For 400 years, white racists have weaponized our own people against us. And today, I'm breaking down the 4 types of black betrayal that keep us shackled. Level 1. The house slave. Meet Stephen, the house slave who loves his chains so.
I'm trying not to stop this so much, but y'all remember what Malcolm X said about the house Negro. The house Negro and the field Negro. When Master said, we seek. We seek both. That's a house Negro mentality. They so entrenched on they love for their oppressor that they despise and hate their own skin color. Like, I'm in the big house, eating the good scraps off master table. I better than yous out here forced to pick cotton and eat hog maws and intestines.
So much, he'll kill to keep them on. This ain't just a movie character, y'all.
It ain't.
This is the blueprint for the most toxic black person in America.
That's who the hell you calling Snowball, hoss boy? I'll snatch your black off that nag down here in the mud so fast make your head.
Steven.
See, Stephen don't just serve white people. He is a white racist in black skin. He's so deep in Stockholm Syndrome that he fears freedom more than bondage. Why? Because oppression is all he's ever known. And he's convinced himself that his survival depends on keeping happy. In Django Unchained, Stephen isn't just a servant, he's the enforcer. When Broomhilda tries to escape, who punishes her? Stephen. When Django arrives as a free man, who's most threatened? Stephen. This man has so internalized his oppression that he sees other black people's freedom as a personal attack on his identity. Sound familiar? That's Uncle Ruckus, the cartoon version of what's very real in our community. These are the black folks who will police you for being too black. Mock our culture to get white folks to pat them on the head and say, you're one of.
Don't trust them uppity niggas over there. If y'all know, y'all know. Breathing they nigga S's in the air. I can't believe I still remember that shit.
The good ones. But this isn't just comedy, people. This is psychological warfare. The house slave mentality runs so deep that these individuals will literally work against their own people's interests to maintain their position in the white power structure. Herschel Walker literally said, black families don't need fathers because we had strong women. This man was so desperate for white Republican approval that he threw his own people under the bus on national television. He painted black fathers as dispensable while running for Senate in Georgia, the same state where his own father abandoned him. But here's where it gets really sick. Walker wasn't just talking to white Republicans. He was talking to black mothers, telling them they should be grateful to struggle alone. He was telling black children that they don't deserve fathers. Also, he could get a pat on the head from people who will never truly accept him. The house slave doesn't just hurt us through their actions, they poison our minds with self hatred. They teach our children that being black is something to overcome,
Yep.
not something to celebrate. They turn our survival mechanisms into weapons against ourselves. Here's what makes the house slaves so dangerous. They convince white people that racism isn't the problem. We are. They give oppressors permission to keep oppressing because, see, even they agree with us.
When I think of that, I think of a couple of dudes, one dude pop in my head that they love bringing up. When you think about any white white WS or any evangelical Christian, any conservative, they always like to bring up Thomas Sowell. That Negro we don't fuck with. He go out of his way to excuse every action throughout history. That's not why we was what we down bad because of slavery. We down bad because of Negroes. Like, and he is so dark, bruh. He's so dark. Every time uh, a white person invoked that man's name, even a white or a black person, I already instantly know what type of person you is.
Remember, Stephen wasn't just loyal to Calvin Candy, he was more racist than his master. When the house exploded at the end of Django, it wasn't just a building burning down, it was the destruction of an entire system that depended on black people policing other black people. And that's why this mentality is the foundation of all the other levels.
Yep.
Every other type of black betrayal starts with this basic premise that white approval is more.
See, all of these people they talk about for them, they said the base of all of them is the house Negro. And I would agree. Every last one of them categories after this are house Negroes. I'm not going to say the N word like I want to because I'm trying to get this information out without massa, YouTube telling me what I'm allowed to say to my own people.
Valuable than black liberation. Before we get to the next level, if you're learning something from this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for Black Stories Untold. We're out here telling the stories they don't want you to hear, exposing the systems they don't want you to understand. Your support keeps us free to speak these truths. Level 2, the assimilationist celebrity. I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay. I remember that, OJ. I remember that. I remember that. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Now, these are Candace Owens types. I married a white man. I went to school with white people. She went to school with white people. Used the NAACP because she felt discriminated against in high school. One, and then grew up to be a big wench, as Tariq Nasheed would so eloquently put it.
These people perfected the art of racial amnesia. They got so comfortable in white spaces that they forgot where they came from.
Ooh, I
Or
know
worse,
niggas like
they
this in real
remember,
life.
but they're ashamed of it.
Yep.
The assimilationist celebrity plays a different game than the house slave. They don't attack us directly, they just disappear us. They code switch so hard, they develop split personalities. Around white folks, oh, I don't really see color. But the moment they need us for damage control, suddenly they remember they're black. Tiger Woods literally created a whole new racial category, Cablinasian, to avoid being called black. This man was so uncomfortable with his African heritage that he invented a word to escape it. But when his career imploded and he needed redemption, suddenly black people were supposed to support him because we're family. O.J. Simpson spent decades distancing himself from the black community.
I know y'all gonna feel this disrespectful. R.I.P. to dead too. That's like not leave another one out. Remember Kobe Bryant was Mr. McDonald's. I wouldn't get no tattoos. I never get no tattoo. Then Colorado hit and he got accused of that shit he got accused of. All of a sudden, he full of tattoos. He black now. Okay?
He lived in white neighborhoods, dated white women, and famously said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. But when he was on trial for homicide, who did his lawyers appeal to? Black jurors who remembered how white America had treated black men in the justice system.
Yeah, we got
Remember
finesse.
when Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy sneakers too, when asked to support Harvey Gantt, a black Democrat running against Jesse Helms, one of the most racist senators in modern history? That
He claimed, nah, he ain't say that. His team said that. Motherfucker, you are your team. This is I love Michael Jordan so much on the court. It's like ridiculous. My greatest sports icon ever. But I've also said on a million occasions, I respect LeBron James off the court more than I would ever respect Michael Jeffrey Jordan off the court. On the court, he's a basketball guard. Off the court, he represents a black person who don't give enough back to the community. LeBron, just his existence is proof that the lies that we were told, you got to forget about your past, your hood, your friends. He elevated his friends to be millionaires, and not only did his friends pay him back with hard work and effort that multiplied his own wealth, but they tell black athletes at the beginning, like, you got to stop messing with these people. You got to be this way. You got to do this. Republican buy tennis shoes too. LeBron say, fuck that. I'm going to do it because y'all, I'm an unstoppable athlete. I'm going to mess with my homeboys. I'm going to make them rich. They're going to make me richer. I'm going to build schools. I'm going to have an opinion and still get endorsement deals. So we talking about the greatest athlete off the court. Michael Jordan don't even fuck compare to LeBron James, and we ain't talking about no just selling no motherfucking overpriced tennis shoes. Like if it wasn't for black folks supporting those shoes, Michael Jordan, they would not be the number one selling shoes ever on the planet.
It's the assimilationist playbook. Stay profitable, stay safe, stay silent. These
Yup.
celebrities think they can buy their way out of blackness. They move to the
Why you
whitest
got
neighborhoods,
Denzel up there?
send their kids
Denzel
to
ain't
the
about that
whitest
bullshit.
schools, marry white spouses, and
Yup.
raise children who don't know they're black until the world reminds them. And when racism smacks them in the face,
They won't
and
run
it
us.
always does, they're shocked. But here's the real damage. They sell our young people a lie. They make kids believe that if you just work hard enough, speak white enough, dress right enough,
Yup.
you can escape racism. They teach our children that being authentically black is a limitation, not a source of power. Think about how many young black athletes and entertainers have followed this blueprint. They sanitize their image, avoid
Yup.
controversial topics like
Yup.
police brutality or systemic racism, and present themselves as safe for white consumption. They become brands,
We the good
not people,
ones.
products, not advocates. The assimilationist celebrity is dangerous because they don't just betray us, they make betrayal look aspirational. They turn sellout behavior into success goals. They teach our children that the price of admission to white spaces is the abandonment of black identity. And when the next generation of black
Oh
celebrities
nah, you ain't
follows
got
their
Ice
lead,
Cube on
staying
there. That's
silent while their
bullshit.
people suffer, who do you think they're modeling themselves after? The cycle continues. And our voices get quieter and quieter in the spaces where they need to be loudest. But here's where it gets even more
Not
dangerous.
Denzel, not
What
Ice
happens
Cube do
when these
not belong
sellouts
be
don't
on here.
just stay silent, but actively become the mouthpiece for our oppression? Level 3. The puppet politician. Systemic racism doesn't exist in America. This is Candace Owens. This is Clarence Thomas.
Listen to me. This category is infiltrated by tethers. Okay? If y'all don't understand what tethers is by now on this goddamn internet, this is a immigrant class that's black but not black. Okay? They tether on to us, ingratiate themselves within our community, and then once they get a little power, they work against the community. That's what a tether is. Okay, you tether on, latch on like a leech, suck all the blood off it, off the host victim, Then when you get a little power, you're like, no, we don't need reparations. What you mean? You not part of we. You wasn't no FBA, Foundation of Black American. You an immigrant. Yo people wasn't oppressed by America. How dare you speak for us? See, this is the type of people that very and Clarence Thomas. Oh my God, I've been embarrassed with him since I was a kid, since the Anita Hill trials. You go do that to a sister, and then you go marry this fuck ugly ass pilgrim, and you so happy.
This is Tim Scott telling us America isn't a racist country. These are the most dangerous black people in America today. Why? Because they don't just abandon us. They lead the charge against us.
Yes, they do.
Become the black face of white racism, giving oppressive policies a chocolate coating so they go down easier. Clarence Thomas sits on the highest court in the land and systematically dismantles every protection our ancestors died for. Affirmative action? Gone. Voting rights? Gutted. Civil rights protections?
He looked like
weakened.
Uncle Ruckus.
And he does it with a smile, knowing damn well he wouldn't be where he is without the very programs he's destroying.
Facts.
Let's be real about Thomas for a minute. This man was accused of physical harassment by Anita Hill, a black woman who put her career on the line to tell the truth. And how did he respond? He called it a high-tech lynching, using the language of black oppression to defend himself while throwing a black woman under the bus. Then, he spent the next 30 years on the court, making sure other black people couldn't access the opportunities that got him there. Thomas's wife, Jenny, was actively working to overturn the 2020 election results, and Thomas refused to recuse himself from cases involving January 6th. This man has so little regard for justice that he'll corrupt the highest court in the land to serve white political interests. But Thomas operates in the shadows. Candace Owens, she's out here making anti-blackness into a full-time career.
Amen.
Owens tours college campuses telling young white kids that racism is over, that black people are just making excuses, that slavery was actually beneficial because it brought Africans to America. She's turned hatred of her own people into a brand, a multimedia empire, a whole damn industry. She literally said that if he had just stayed in Germany, he would have been fine, because she was so desperate to own the libs that she lost her damn mind. But here's the thing, that wasn't a mistake. That's who she is. Someone so consumed with anti-black ideology that she'll defend it to make a point against black progress.
Again, remember I said earlier, she actually used the NAACP for discrimination, and it's weird now. Like, it's no discrimination. It's no, just like, bitch.
Look at these audiences when she speaks. You see the joy on these white faces?
Oh,
They
dude.
finally found black people who will say what they've always wanted to say. See? They said it, not us. We're not racist. We're just agreeing with the black lady. But if you want to see the ultimate puppet show, let's talk about Kanye West. This man went from George Bush doesn't care about black people to walking around in White Lives Matter shirts with Candace Owens like some kind of minstrel show. Kanye had the audacity to say that 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice. This man really sat on TMZ and told the world that our ancestors chose to be kidnapped from Africa, chose to be chained in slave ships, chose to be beaten, assaulted, and systematically subdued for 4 centuries. You know what that was? That was Kanye telling white people exactly what they wanted to hear. That slavery wasn't that bad. That black people are responsible for their own oppression. That racism is just a mindset we can choose to overcome. And when he got called out for it,
Yeah,
what
he
did he
did.
do? Doubled down.
Act like a
Started
bitch.
hanging out with Candace Owens, wearing MAGA hats, meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, grinning like a damn fool while the president used him as a prop. Then this man had the nerve to go full anti-Semite, talking about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. You see what happened? He went so far down the white elite rabbit hole that he started parroting their conspiracy theories. And suddenly, all those white Republicans who were using him as their token black friend dropped him like a hot potato.
Yep.
But here's what really pisses me off about Kanye. He had everything: platform, influence, money, respect. He could have used his voice to speak truth to power. Instead, he used it to give white racists exactly what they wanted: a black man saying that black oppression is our own fault. Kanye represents the puppet politician at its most pathetic. Someone so desperate for white acceptance that they'll say anything, believe anything, do anything to get that approval. And when the approval runs out, they're left with nothing but the damage they've done to their own people. Tim Scott ran for president on the platform that
when you find out the black folks don't want you back, and you know what's worse? You was just like the nigga in the first verse. Stop selling out your race and wipe that stupid ass smile off your face. Niggas always gotta show they teeth. Now I'ma be brief. Just had to. Anytime I start talking about this, I think about that Ice Cube song, "Be True to the Game," about sellouts, sellouts, and sellouts. It's basically a song about sellouts. Go listen to it. Be true to the game. Ice Cube.
America is not a racist country. While living in a country where black people are killed by police at 3 times the rate of white people, this man said welfare was worse for black people than slavery. He compared government assistance to the kidnapping and death of millions of African people. But here's what makes the puppet politicians so insidious. They don't just speak to white people, they speak to confused black people too. They tell working class black folks that their struggles are their own fault. They tell black women that feminism is their enemy. They tell black men that white racism is actually black people's fault.
Oh.
This is the puppet politician's function, to be the ventriloquist dummy for white racism. They don't just harm us through silence, like the assimilationist. They actively recruit others to harm us. They give white America moral permission to continue oppressing us while convincing some of us that oppression is actually freedom. The puppet politician is the most dangerous because they have power, platform, and purpose. They're not confused like the assimilationist or broken like the house slave. They're strategic. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're getting paid well to do it. But here's the thing that really gets me. Sometimes the most dangerous betrayal comes from people who genuinely think they're helping us. Level 4. The tragic compromiser. Meet Booker T. Washington, the man who told black people to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, while white folks were cutting the straps.
And they've been throwing that shit in our face ever since. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop taking my goddamn bootstraps. I pull myself up by them bitches.
Now, before y'all come for me in the comments, I get it. Booker T lived in a different time. Jim Crow was in full swing. Lynching was a weekend hobby for white folks, and this man was trying to keep us alive. But when he gave that Atlanta Compromise speech in 1895, telling black people to focus on vocational training instead of demanding civil rights, he gave white racists exactly what they wanted. Our permission to wait. Cast down your bucket where you are, he said. Accept segregation. Focus on economic development, not political rights. Prove you deserve equality instead of demanding what's already yours. Sound familiar? That's respectability politics, and it's still killing us today. Washington believed that if black people just worked hard enough, were respectable enough, contributed enough to the economy, white people would eventually accept us as equals. He was wrong. Dead wrong. All his compromising did was give white racists moral cover to continue oppressing us while pointing to his words as proof that even we agreed with their system. While Washington was teaching black people to be patient, white folks were lynching us at record rates. While he was promoting vocational training, they were burning down Black Wall Street. While he was preaching accommodation, they were passing laws to strip us of the vote. His strategy of appeasement didn't stop the terror. It enabled it. But here's what makes this tragic. Washington genuinely loved black people. He built Tuskegee Institute, educated thousands of our people, and fought for economic advancement. His intentions were pure, but good intentions paved with black bodies still lead to hell. Today's respectable compromisers follow the same playbook. They tell us to vote our way out of oppression, to work within systems designed to destroy us, to be twice as good for half as much. They preach the politics of respectability while our people are killed in broad daylight. You know them. The leaders who say we need to build bridges with people who want to build walls around us. The preachers who tell us to turn the other cheek while bullets are flying. They mean well, but good intentions don't stop police bullets. They mean well, But patience doesn't pay rent. They mean well, but respectability doesn't resurrect the dead. Here's what makes this the most tragic level. These people genuinely love us. They're not seeking white approval like the others. They're trying to protect us. But their fear makes them accept crumbs and call it progress. They tell us to wait for the right time, the right candidate, the right moment. Meanwhile, we're...
It's like a whole generation of our parents, like, just pray, pray, just pray. God gonna make a way. Like, damn, mama, I gotta wait till I get to heaven before she get right with me. I gotta. So basically, earth is hell to us. So I gotta spend 76 years of struggle and turmoil and hope and pray God bring me to heaven and all will be okay. I ain't I ain't supposed to live good right now. I supposed to wait. I say one of the most dangerous things that generation above us, them baby boomers, tell young black student kids was go to school and get a job. Go to school and get a job. What y'all should have been saying was go to school and build your own. Go to school and build your own. Okay? Then we would have had power because we would have had our own shit built.
Dying in the streets, in prisons, in poverty. How long are we supposed to wait for freedom? How long are we supposed to prove we deserve what's already ours? The respectable compromiser isn't evil.
Ironically, when the rapture comes, that's what they really believe. Yeah. When God called us home, everything gonna be okay. Like, I'm black. I'm telling you the shit I done heard in my households. Pray, just pray, just pray. Just pray, just pray. 10, 20 years later, motherfuckers still praying, 30 years praying, hoping and praying Jesus come down to rescue all us downtrodden people from this like, man, no, 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 that's not how God want us to be.
They're just scared. Scared of white backlash. Scared of losing what little progress we've made. Scared that if we push too hard, too fast, white people will take everything away. But here's what they don't understand. White people never gave us anything out of kindness. Every right we have, we fought for. Every law
we
that
ain't
protects
prayed
us,
away.
we bled for.
Yep.
Every step forward, we took by force, not by asking nicely. The compromiser believes in the myth of gradual progress, the lie that justice delayed is not justice denied. They think racism will fade away if we just give it enough time, enough patience, enough good behavior. But racism isn't a misunderstanding, it's a system. And systems don't reform themselves out of the goodness of their hearts. They change when they're forced to change. Here's what connects all four levels. They all serve the same master. Whether it's through active betrayal, silent complicity, political puppetry, or respectability politics, they all keep white racism alive. The house slave convinces white folks they're good masters. The assimilationist convinces us we can escape. The puppet politician gives racism a black face, and the respectable compromiser tells us to be patient with our own oppression. But here's what they don't want you to know. Every single one of these archetypes exists because white racism needs them. They're not aberrations. They're features of the system. The house slave provides psychological cover. See, even they like being enslaved. The assimilationist provides false hope. If you just try hard enough, you can make it too. The puppet politician provides political cover. It's not racism when a black person says it. And the compromiser provides moral cover. Even their own leaders say they should wait. Together, these four types create a complete ecosystem of black subjugation. They handle different aspects of the psychological, political, and social work needed to maintain white dominance. But here's the real tragedy. Many of these people could have been freedom fighters. The House intelligence could have been used to organize resistance. The assimilationist platform could have been used to advocate for justice. The puppet politician's power could have been used to advance our interests. The compromiser's love could have been channeled into revolutionary action. Instead, white racism captured their talents and turned them against us. That's the real genius of this system. It doesn't just oppress us with external force. It recruits us to oppress ourselves. So the next time you see a black person tap dancing for white approval, ask yourself, which level are they on? Because until we recognize these patterns, until we call out these sellouts, until we stop making excuses for people who harm us in the name of helping us, we'll never be free. Drop a comment and tell me, which type do you think is the most dangerous?
Well, this is all for the. If you're wondering what kind of people we talking about the Hodge twins, we talking about Anton Danes, we talking about Candace we talking about Black conservative perspective, we talking about Officer Tatum, we talking about all these black dudes, black content creators who go out of their way to shit on black people. I mean, it could be a million videos about something bad white folk did some tragedy, and they're gonna skip it. They're gonna go all the way to the bottom of the page to the one video where the black person did something at a McDonald's, and they gonna make it a 30-minute goddamn video about how trash black folk is. That's for y'all benefit. I'm not talking about my people. I'm talking about the people in the back of the. See this picture right here? You see the people that laughing in this video? That's who is the benefit for. They are paymasters. They sell out for money. They off code. It's your boy King Down 225 with another reactionary video. Hit that like, subscribe, become part of the kingdom. Go watch the original video.